Joe Rogan on his podcast used a quote from Joe Biden to prove that Biden was unfit for office. However, there's just one small problem with the quote he used. It was from Donald Trump. Here it is.
I don't know how you
Did you hear what he said like yesterday or a couple days ago? He's talking about the Revolutionary War. He's like, one of the reasons why we lost the Revolutionary War, one of the problems with the Revolutionary War was they didn't have enough airports.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I saw that. Like, what the hell?
Like, pull him.
It's
Imagine
crazy.
If you had any other job and you were talking like that,
Yeah.
they would go, hey.
And so embarrassing. On his podcast, Joe Rogan tried to make fun of President Biden, saying, oh, look at this stupid thing that he said recently, trying to...
Yes, welcome back. Few days ago, I think I put out a video about Joe Rogan. He recently had a segment where he called out Biden. Libras are freaking out after insane fact check. Joe Rogan knocks Biden over Trump claims of airport during Revolutionary War. I don't understand why Libras are freaking out and they are now calling Joe Rogan a consecutive. Going down the article, consecutive podcast host Joe Rogan slam where he said where President Biden claimed about not having enough airport during the Revolutionary War when it was former President Trump who said it. Okay, when you take a look at Libra articles, the image they are trying to paint here, for a very long time, we know how they play this. When there is something that is coming up, they will always try to play that kind of victim card, the blame game. In this case, Joe Rogan producer had to bring some segment like to say, this was said by Trump in 2020 campaign.
Talk about the Revolutionary War. He's like, one of the reasons why we lost the Revolutionary War, one of the problems with the Revolutionary War was they didn't have enough airports.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I saw that. Like, what the hell?
Like, pull him.
It's
Imagine
crazy.
If you had any other job and you were talking like that,
Yeah.
they would go, hey, you're done.
A few moments later.
The same stable genius that said the biggest problem we had in the Revolutionary War is we didn't have enough airports. Whoa.
Yeah, that's it.
Whoa.
Right,
What?
just for the record,
Is that fake?
it's not fake, but he was referencing Trump saying that. Here's what Trump saying it in 2019.
Oh.
Donald Trump said something about that. He didn't say Jesus. He said a stable genius, and that's where the transcription.
Let me hear what it says. What did he say?
In June of 1775, the Continental Congress created a unified army out of the revolutionary forces encamped around Boston and New York, and named after the great George Washington, Commander-in-Chief. The Continental Army suffered a bitter winter of Valley Forge, found glory across the waters of the Delaware, and seized victory from Cornwallis of Yorktown. Our army manned the airports. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he fucked up.
Yeah, he did. But I feel like
Took over
that's
the airport.
you can tell too. It sounds like a little different. He's like, you could tell he like messed up his words, but
Yeah.
he was just, I don't know.
Took over the airports.
Well, that's
It
the
is
thing
funny.
about media these days. It's like
Right.
you
never
gotta
know.
look at.
I mean, how bad is that? How bad is that? And isn't it interesting how Joe Rogan and the guest he had on changed their tune once they realized it came from Donald Trump? Like, when they heard it came from Biden, they're like, oh yeah, he's not mentally there. But when they heard it came from Donald Trump, they're like, oh, he just messed up. It's a complete double standard. And that's the thing, right? Like, if you want to talk about somebody who's not mentally all there, you're looking at Donald Trump. You're not looking at Joe Biden. Like, you just saw that quote of Donald Trump saying that there were airports during the Revolutionary War. He also recently said that we're going into World War II, which happened over 80 years ago. He also said that he beat Obama in 2016 and that Obama is still president. That is not someone who is all there. And Donald Trump said all of these things. And if Biden said any of those things, people would be freaking out. But because Donald Trump said it, the Republicans are like, oh, he just made a mistake, like Joe Rogan and his guests right there.
Libras are melting down after this Joe Rogan segment. According to this article published by The Hill, Joe Rogan knocks Biden over Trump claims of airport during Revolutionary War. Consecutive podcast host Joe Rogan slammed what he said were President Biden's claims about not having enough airport during the Revolutionary War when it was former Donald Trump who said it. Okay, there is one thing with Libras. When you say something, they want to turn it around. It will be like this. I don't understand why they are freaking out. Joe Rogan made a statement and they had to do this, their insane fact check about this. It came out that it was Trump. Immediately, Libras are doing a lot of videos going after Joe Rogan. Going down on the article, during Thursday episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, we guest a mixed martial art fighter Boo Neka. Rogan said some voters will get voting for Biden in 2020. They both criticized the president's mental ability and how he speaks publicly.
After my last fight, he was cage side with Dana, and then I got back home, and he invited me out to Bedminster in Jersey and was like, "Come golf with me." Coolest freaking dude, man. He was like, we didn't talk about politics. We didn't talk about anything. When I first got there, rolled up, I mean, there's 30 Secret Service members. Everybody's doing their thing. And he did a few, kind of worked with one of his secretaries, make some announcements.
And the media gaslight, Rogan said, highlighted by media, it is just people are so afraid of Trump being in office for Republicans being in office. Rogan producers stepped into the show the two videos they were referencing where Biden is mocking Trump for his incorrect comment about airport in the Revolutionary War. Shortened clips of Biden saying they claim circulated the internet with misleading audio transformed and gained 5.4 million views. The Associated Press found. The AP found that Biden's full comment came during a 2020 campaign rally in Tampa, Florida, when he criticized Trump's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and launched into a statement about Trump's past false claim. Donald Trump, when he thinks of climate change, he says hoax. Well, guess what? Speaking of hoaxes, remember what he said about this increasing violent hurricane and the frequency. He actually said maybe we should detonate a nuclear bomb over the Atlantic. By the way, the same stable genius who said the biggest problem we had in the Revolutionary War is we didn't have enough airport. Biden said, according to the AP reported that
president's son, and everyone keeps talking about this, they go, well, it's a political witch hunt. And I'm like, he has videos of himself smoking with Ukrainian hookers with gun to their heads.
Yeah.
The guy lives in Malibu and he has art shows in Soho. He's doing okay. Anyone's life's ruined with one of the videos on his laptop. Anyone.
They've done a remarkable job of minimizing the impact of that
they go,
laptop.
so what? Yeah, he had his problems.
It's amazing.
They go, he had his problems. What, you have no compassion for addicts? I'm like, he's in the Ukraine with a gun to a hooker's head, smoking